I'm Laura with Freedom Wholesale, and today I'm going to be showing you how I resurface headlights. Let's get to it. Okay, first thing, we've got to prep the area, so I'm just going to do that with a little window cleaner and some paper towel. Next thing is we're going to tape off all the areas where our drill might nick the paint a little bit just to protect it. We go through a lot of tape here, so I just got the cheapest I could find off of eBay, and I will link that in the description for y'all. You kind of want to work in smaller strips because they're more manageable, and you try to find easy lines. Okay, so the next step is to do the sanding, and I work with this Powell Abrasives sanding discs. I do them in 1000, 2000, and 3000. Because all of them are finishing grits, it's going to take a little bit longer. With the cloudiness on this one, I may go over with 3 different 1000 grit sanding discs before moving on to the 2000. And you can go with a more abrasive disc, but you're more likely to create divots or scratches that don't get buffed out. So I like to go with something a little safer that takes maybe a little bit more time. I've got a Makita drill. Doesn't matter what drill you use. This is a Velcro pad for the Velcro discs. I forget what size it is, but I'll try to link it in the description. This is all the bulk stuff that I buy, but the first time I did a headlight, I did it with a 3M headlight refinishing kit, and I will link that too. It's the same process as what I use today. These are just different sanding discs that I could get in bulk. And the 3M kit will come with a Velcro pad for your drill. You're gonna need a spray bottle of water. First thing we're gonna do is spray it down. I'm gonna start in one corner and work my way to the other corner. I kinda don't wanna move on from, I don't wanna go back and forth like this. I kinda just wanna stay in one area and move slowly across the headlight. Different sized headlights and different shaped headlights, I have sort of different methods, but at the end of the day, having it even is what matters most. So if you know that you're getting an even grind on it, then however you want to do it is fine. It happens. Okay, I'm going to remove my first pad so I can still see some fogginess in some areas. There's a little bit of a difference between the fogginess that it gets from sanding and these patches where it's a little bit darker that you can notice. So I think I'm gonna go 1 or 2 more times with the 1000 grit. This is the most important part of the process, the 1000 grit, because if you don't really take your time with this first stage, the second and third stages aren't really gonna matter, and when you put the clear coat on, it's gonna be a little bit foggy. I'm gonna go over with just 1 more 1000 grit just to make sure I got her good. Okay, we're gonna move on to the 2000 grit now. It's a really good sign when you go to the 2000 grit that it's not foaming up as much as the 1000 grit, and by the time you get to the 3000 grit, the water and stuff is going to look more clear than cloudy and milky. So this is a good sign. I don't know if you guys can tell, but when I'm getting to a corner like this, I'm actually lifting it up at an angle instead of flat on, because if I go flat on, then I would be actually touching the paint. But I'm not doing that, I'm kind of going at an angle. So you know you're getting somewhere when it's wet, it looks pretty clear and pretty nice, but as it's drying, it's gonna look like this, pretty cloudy. So I thought about going with another 2000 grit, but I don't think it needs it. I'm just gonna move straight on to the last one, 3000 grit. And I'm gonna go with one last 3000 grit disc just in case, and I'm gonna start with this side instead of this side just in case I miss some areas when it's getting kind of low on the grit that isn't getting picked up. Okay, we're gonna want this to be completely dry and clean before we go for the clear coat. So I'm bringing back my paper towel and my window cleaner, and I'm going to just dry it off first. This tape kind of likes to hold on to the water, and you don't really want that mixing with your clear coat, but you want to keep the tape on because you don't want the clear coat getting on any of your chrome or paint stuff because it doesn't like to come off. So I'm just going to try to dry the tape a little bit, especially in these corners. And we're just going to shoot it with a little bit of cleaner. And we're doing cleaner just to make sure that we don't have any leftover sanding dust on here. The clear coat just really isn't going to want to bond to that, so we're giving it the best chance to last as long as possible. If you're not in a rush, you can just wait a few hours for all this tape and stuff to dry off, but I got to get moving, so I'm just going the extra mile. If you buy a 3M headlight cleaner kit, it's going to come with some of these clear coat wipes, and you can also buy them in a box. I bought them in a box because I do a lot of these. But you're also going to want a plastic bag because in between coats, it's got to dry for about 10 minutes, and you want to try to keep as much moisture on the wipe as possible. So good to have that handy. And you need to do this with gloves. The clear coat substance is kind of like paint. If it gets on your hands, it's going to be really hard to get off. So the gloves are going to keep it off your hands, and you're just going to keep your package, set it aside with your plastic bag. And I just take it out like it is and leave it in this current folded shape. And you're going to want to start from one end and come all the way to the other, then come down a little bit, go all the way to the other side and back and forth like that. And you want to go slow. If you start to see it bubble up a little bit, it means you're going too fast, and that will kind of show in the final product, the little bubbles. So you just want to take it nice and slow. And when you reach the end, you're just going to move down a little bit till there's about that much space between your wipe and where you've already been, and move back in this direction. And this one's very small, so I'm just going to go to here, which is where the wipe didn't get, and just go through that. And then we're going to leave it for 10 minutes. Now I'm just going to stick it back in my package and put it in my Ziploc bag, seal it up, and then I kind of like to put something, if you want to squeeze all the air out of it, kind of like to put something heavy right on where I tore it open just to help it out a little bit. Okay, we're going to get our wipe back out. It's been about 10 minutes, and you know it's dry if you can kind of drag your finger across it, and you know, I'm not picking up anything, so it's dried. I'm gonna go in for a second layer, and I might go in for a third because of how bad this headlight was, but we'll see after the second. Okay, we're gonna go with one more just to make sure it's as durable as possible. And I'm gonna flip my wipe over this time. So it's like a brand new wipe. And we're gonna go again. Okay, now we're going to take the tape off, and I'm gonna start from here. And that's it. We hope you found this video helpful, and as always, we will try to answer as many questions as we can in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again in the shop.